So guys, I don't know if you are aware, but some days ago, Shroud said that he needed people to vote for Arc Raiders for Game of the Year because supposedly Arc Raiders is really fucking good. And he wants a different game to win Game of the Year this time. Then Asmon saw that tweet and he tweeted, "Play Expedition 33 Fierce Lying Michael." Michael is Shroud, and he's saying this because he went to the history of his channel, of Shroud's channel, and he has not played Expedition 33. And in Asmon's opinion, if he played Expedition 33, he would think that Expedition 33 deserves the Game of the Year. Why am I talking about this? Because I want to talk about the philosophy behind the type of games that always win Game of the Years, and apparently if you make certain type of game, you are never going to win Game of the Year. And this is the part that interests me, because I have not played Expedition 33 and I have not played Arc Raiders. I don't give a fuck about these games. I will probably play Expedition 33 at some point because people say it's so fucking good, but these are not my type of games. I don't care. But what I want to talk about is that every year games like Expedition 33 win. Single player games, story games, you go through the game, you play, you are done with the game. And yes, the game is really fucking cool. The story is good, the music is good, the gameplay is good. But that is it. You go through the game, you are done. And multiplayer games never win. Why? What is so much better about the single player experience that they always win Game of the Years and the multiplayer game doesn't win? Why? In fact, I would argue that if you are going to judge a game because of the most important thing, which is gameplay, wouldn't a multiplayer game that engages you for thousands of hours make more sense for a Game of the Year than a single player game? Do you know what I'm saying? Like, Path of Exile is a game where people have 10,000 hours. Counter-Strike is a game where people have 10,000 hours. Dota 2, League of Legends. These are games that are good, addictive, and you waste your life playing them. Nobody plays Expedition 33 for 10,000 hours. You play it once, you saw everything, and you are done. An uber fan of the game is going to play it again. Probably a third time. Nobody plays it more than 5 times, right? It is a limited experience. A multiplayer game, because of the variables and because you are playing against other players, provides a platform for crazy things that will never happen in a single player game and prolongs your experience for thousands of fucking hours. Why are we valuing more single player games? And again, I am not saying Arc Raiders should win. Probably shouldn't. I don't know. Maybe Expedition 33 is better. I am just talking about the philosophy of why people prefer the single player games to the multiplayers for these awards. I know there is a category for multiplayer games, for online games, or whatever the fuck, for live service games. I know, but no, we are talking about the Game of the Year category. You are not going to tell me that Elden Ring is a multiplayer game. You can play multiplayer, but we all know Elden Ring for the single player campaign. The same goes for Baldur's Gate. Don't give me that crap. Baldur's Gate 3 is a single player game. You can play it multiplayer, it is a single player. It Takes Two was a multiplayer. It was a 2-player game because of the way, honestly, that is cool. That one was cool. But it is still a campaign that you go through and you are done. It is not this immersive online game that you go for 10,000 hours. Yeah, but I think in a spirit, at least, games should only be eligible the year they come out. Sometimes it takes multiplayer games come out in a rough state. That is true. That is true. So that is why I don't expect League of Legends, Dota, or Counter-Strike to win. I understand that. But that is why Shroud is nominating Arc Raiders, which is a new game. Dude, PvP is the best part of Elden Ring for many people. I am okay with that. Okay, I have not played the game, but I know it has a multiplayer component. And I know that a lot of people love the PvP. But let's be honest, in Hila Angel, it won the Game of the Year for the campaign. For the normal game. It didn't win the Game of the Year because of the multiplayer. It could have played at 2% of sharing in the decision, in the weighting. But it is because the game is awesome to play normally. Also, it is different when a game has a multiplayer component, a single player game has a multiplayer component to where the whole game is based on multiplayer. You can't play a match of Dota 2 without having multiplayer. You can't play Counter-Strike without having multiplayer. The game is based on the multiplayer experience. I think they want Expedition 33 to win because an independent studio made a better game than AAA companies, I'm guessing. And that is cool. And I love that independent studios are making bangers. But that is not the criteria. That is not the criteria for Game of the Year. What does it matter who made the game? What matters is the game of the year. If you have a criteria where the category is in the game, a game that blow up and it was not made by a AAA company, okay, that one you win. But the category in Game of the Year is being the best fucking game of the year. Again, I am not saying Expedition 33 doesn't deserve it. Probably it does. And if it wins, cool by me. I am just talking about this underlying philosophy where apparently for the Game of the Year, people put more intrinsic value in the single player experience. That is all I am saying. Counter argument, when people think about the games that left an impact on them and talk about them for years, is usually single player ones. I agree. For example, you don't hear people talking about Quake extensively nowadays, but I can hear people still talk about single player Super NES and PS1 games. I agree entirely with that. Me, myself, one of my favorite games ever, and I always talk about it, Metal Gear Solid for the PlayStation 1. You have probably heard me talk about how awesome that game is, and it changed my life, and I still play it from time to time. Awesome, cool. BioShock, I have a tattoo right here. The slave obeys, the man chooses. BioShock is fucking nice. I love BioShock. The thing is, you never spend more hours on a single player game than on a multiplayer game. That is what I am saying. And you will say, well, that doesn't make it better. And I will say, would you spend 5,000 hours doing something that sucks dick? If you are spending more time doing it, that has to have some value, man. And multiplayer games have far more replayability than single player games. And people waste their fucking lives playing multiplayer games for thousands of hours. And that does not happen in single player games. You have to agree that there is some kind of bias, implicit bias towards single player games. There is a single player bias, completely. And one of the arguments Asmon said was, in 20 years, people are going to play Expedition 33. In 20 years, nobody's going to give a fuck about Arc Raiders. I can see that argument too, and he's probably right. But in 20 years, in amount of hours played, how many hours played do you think Arc Raider is going to have versus Expedition 33? Arc Raiders is going to have to have many more hours played. You know that the developers have the combination of hours played between all the players, right? Arc Raiders is going to beat all the hours played from Expedition 33 that was released first before the end of the year. Because multiplayer games shoot up the actual playing time. That is the truth. There are many matches occurring concurrently and you get a bunch of hours. Again, we are playing a game for the story. I can see some people arguing, these are games. If you want a story, go read a book, go watch a movie, watch a TV show. Because for a game, what we are judging is gameplay. And multiplayer games normally have better gameplay than single player games. Normally, not all the time, but normally. So no, because this is a complete experience and the music and the cinematic. Okay, I can see that side too. I am just trying to play devil's advocate to the thing that I think there is too much of a strong bias towards single player games and multiplayer games. They had to make another category like the online game or the live service game to be able to give light to these games because they never win the fucking Game of the Year. Probably they have won something like Fortnite or Gears of War or whatever the fuck won 1 year. But normally the single player thing wins. Then you also have the whole eSport scene with the competitive matches and all of that makes it even cooler. Nobody's going to you can see the difference in viewership between a match between two teams in Counter, in League of Legends, in Dota 2. The viewership is way higher than games done quick, for example, that is single player games, speed running events. It is a cool event. I like it. I watch it. It is a cool event, but it doesn't have not even the slightest comparable amount of hype and viewership that a multiplayer game has. So why do we prioritize them in the awards show? I don't like the implicit bias. There is an implicit bias, guys. You know this. You know it. What do you guys think? Am I right? Am I wrong? Am I a clown? Am I a genius? Let me know everything in the comments below. I love reading comments even when they don't agree with me. Also remember to like the video, to subscribe to the channel, all that cool stuff. Guys, thanks for being here. You guys are awesome. God bless ya. And remember, don't be afraid ever, because this is just a ride.